welcome to the incredibly influential and highly successful podcast. My name is Kael. I'm incredibly influential.
My name's Danny, and I'm highly successful.
Today is Sunday the 8th as we're recording this. Danny, I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm so fucking glad Dead Week is over. Holy fuck. I have had a week, man. I Was it Dead Week for you, or didn't you say you did your finals on like different weeks? So this week was like finals week for one of your schools and like Dead Week for your other school? Isn't it, I feel like I remember you saying that.
I had one final Monday of Thanksgiving week. I had a final paper last week. It wasn't too bad, and then I have two finals this week.
Okay, so it's a bit more spread out. I have two finals in one day. Um and then I have Oh man, I have two finals in one day on Tuesday, and then I have one on Wednesday, uh, or at least one that's due on Wednesday. I feel like I could probably start it a little earlier. Oh wait, no. Sorry. I have one, uh, two exams on Tuesday. One part of one of my finals is due on Wednesday. The other part I have 2 hours to do on Thursday. And then my last Friday final is just due on Friday, so I just have to get it done sometime this week. So I could do it tomorrow if I wanted. I could do it today if I wanted. Um, but yeah, that's not fun. That's not fun. I'm not too excited about that. It's it's been a time. It has been a time. I had a lot of just shit due this weekend. Um, just so many like assignments and like papers. I had to revise my final draft because we're in like the research methods class, so our final thing is a big paper, and I had to do that. And my partner was being difficult. Um, and then I had like literally five different summaries due tonight. Thankfully, like the lowest three get dropped, so I just had to do one to make up for a one that I got a low score on. But like, oh my god, it's been so much, and I'm gonna be so glad when this fucking semester's over. Uh, I never thought four classes would be so fucking difficult, and then I'm taking like six next semester. Oh my god, it fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. How many are you taking next semester?
Should be four.
Should be four. All right, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Let me
I I should be starting a job as well, hopefully.
Oh, that'll be good. Do you know where at?
Um, right now, I'm trying to get a job working like customer service. My grandma is trying to see if she can find like a referral sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I want to try to just do that. Should should be pretty easy. She said that it shouldn't be too hard to get in, so I'm having high hopes for that right now.
That would be nice. I You are a pretty conflict averse person. I'm I don't know if that would be a good fit for you. Cause like all the fucking like Karens and shit who take it out on like customer service people. I
Mm.
don't I'm wondering if like that might be a lot for you. Like it's like nothing against you. I know a lot of people in life who just don't do interpersonal conflict very well, right? Like me, I'm very good at conflict. Some might say too good. I'm very willing to go forward with that. But
Well,
um
I think that you're good at conflict in a different sense.
like I'm definitely not scared of it, and
I
like
was
I don't
thinking
back
like
down from it.
I was thinking that you're good at like causing conflict.
Ha, fuck you.
That was where my mind went immediately.
I'm sure it did, and I'm sure my mind went to go fuck yourself, eat a
Mm,
bag of dicks. But yeah, no, I I can I see what you mean, but also, suck a dick. But yeah, I don't know. You are very, you know,
Very
not
good at being the problem.
you're very good at fucking eating a bag of dicks. But my point is, you are very, you're not a very conflict drawn person. Like, it really, I could tell it really like diminishes you. Like, it like whenever you get into like conflicts and shit, it's not like good for you. So I'm wondering, like, I feel like this job is going to be pretty tough for you. Like, I I'm not sure it would be like the best fit for you, because like there's just going to be like a lot of unfriendly, like, good like not good energy being like thrown your way, cuz you're exclusively dealing with people who have a problem. And like a lot of people, as soon as they have a problem, start like lashing out. And customer services, they're the perfect target. They're right there. So i I don't know. I feel like in a couple of months, when if you like actually start this job, if you actually start doing this job, I feel like in a couple of months we're going to reconvene, and I'm not sure it's going to be the best fit for you. So I'm interested to see where that goes. But
I
I'm
feel like the reason why I haven't been like super fond of conflict in the past is mostly because it's very personal conflict,
mhm.
which is why I'm not sure if I'm as worried about it. Because I feel like if it's like for work, or a job, I'm like, oh, it's easier to kind of separate.
Yeah,
Um,
I I think that's a part of that, but like people are still going to be um for like like there's still going to be the earmarks of conflict. Like, conflict is going to be stressful no matter what the cause, right? So I feel like, like, you can divorce yourself from it. You can be like, I'm not at fault here, it's literally not even involved with me. But there's still like that element of like being involved in conflict is hard, and it like is frustrating, and it saps the life out of you. And I know that it would sap the life out of you because I've seen it happen. So I don't know. I all I'm saying is I hope it fucking pays well, because
I
if it
wonder
doesn't,
what you're referring to.
like, whenever you get into like arguments and stuff, it clearly takes a toll on you. And you're not the most, bold, uh like headstrong, defensive person. You're a bit more, meager, right? A bit more meek. and and there's nothing wrong with that,
I
but
think I
like,
think I think it really, like I said, I think it's really gonna just be one of those things where I am not gonna be attached to the issue enough to care. That's what I think, at least.
I mean, I guess you do just let me fucking talk shit on you all the time. You've made a quite a bit of, money from me doing that. So maybe you can just be like, yep, this is just, I'll take my licks and I'll get paid for it. we'll
I
we'll have to
suppose
see.
so. That's kind of where my mind's at least.
Yeah, we'll see. It'll be science, right? We'll come back, we'll have tested this hypothesis, and we'll see who's right. um yeah. Anywho, but yeah, I'm fucking glad the semester's gonna be over, dude. So next semester for me, which fucking sucks, I'm taking a uh 3 classes on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's so from 10 to 10:50, and then 11 to 11:50. So back to back, I'm taking two, and then uh I have to come back to campus at 2 to go to my 2 to 2:50. Um, so that's my one Monday, Wednesday, Friday uh blocked out. And then my Tuesday, Thursdays, I have a 9:30 to 10:45, and then a 3:30 to 4:45, which is the latest class I've ever taken, right? Or I think it's tied for it. But like, I'm not used to like going back to campus at 3:30 and leaving at like 5 p.m. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. And then also I'm starting my honors thesis. I have the GRE and I have an online course that's like uh for the first 8 weeks. It's I think it's like financial readiness. It's in like the honors college. I don't know why I'm taking it. I don't know what it's for. I don't know why specifically honor students need to be more financially prepared than normal students. It seems like normal students might need the financial preparedness advice more than honors kids, but what do I know? But yeah, so I'm swamped next semester. I'm so not excited for that.
Yeah,
Four
see,
classes was whooping my ass.
I had no interest in the honors college, really. I don't know. It just did not seem like it was for me.
Well, you have to go to grad school after this, right? Don't you have to get your masters?
Uh, Probably, but I don't think I'm gonna go right into my master's right away. I want to try to actually probably get work,
What
cause,
work can you do with only a bachelor's in the field?
well, what I'm going to do, um, I need to kind of get on this probably a little bit now that it's kind of coming up, is I'm gonna fill out my resume, my LinkedIn. I need to make a LinkedIn. I want to try to.
Didn't I say if you gave me $10, I would make it for you?
Yeah, but like I need to remember all the things I want to put on it. Uh, 'Cause I have some things like from high school that I want to include, like some experiences from that. I have some like competitions, yada yada yada, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You get the idea.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want to make sure I include as much as possible, and then hopefully through just like career fairs and all that I want to be going to in the next couple years,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe some internships I get along the way and some projects I do at the school. I think that my resume should kind of like fill out maybe what having a master's would fill out, you know what I mean, a little bit. And then if I ever wanted to go back for more education, I would at least have an income by then, because I feel like just going to school, I don't think that financial aid pays as much for postgraduate,
No.
which is another thing that I feel like I kind of have to consider if I want to go for postgraduate.
Well, if you're going for grad school, generally you should be looking at a program that waives your tuition. If you can't get into any program that waives your tuition, grad school's not for you. Like that's generally the rule, right? You should never be paying to go to grad school. If anything, they should be paying you. You should be getting an assistantship, a fellowship, something like that. But at least a tuition waiver, right? Like that's bare minimum to accept a grad school posting, right? Like you can quibble on like, uh, you know, at this one, they're paying me a little bit more, but it's an assistantship. But if I get a fellowship, I just get a monthly stipend, no questions asked. I don't have to do anything. Like you can quibble about that, but the number one priority is never pay for fucking grad school. It's so much money for just not worth it. Never do that. Never do that. That was the advice I got for master's programs, PhD programs where I live in my field, right? But like that's true for like just about anyone. If you're going to grad school, never fucking pay for it. And if you can't get into some place where you don't have to pay for it, then it's just not in the cards for you unless you're like super rich and you don't care about that. But you know I think we both know you're not super rich and you don't want to do all that work paying for that shit, right? Like you don't want to get those fucking loans for the rest of your life type shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear about people getting loans, and like I feel like my school isn't the most expensive, which is great for me.
Yeah.
I can get myself a degree and I can get it for a very affordable price.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Obviously, I'm still using financial aid because I want to save as much as possible. But
Absolutely, yeah.
for post grad, maybe I'll change my mind and I'll look more into it and I'll try to like explore that as an option more later on. But for right now, I'm just trying to focus on building experiences, maybe getting some internships lined up for like maybe next summer, maybe after that as well.
Yeah,
Projects. Uh, I haven't really been focusing on the whole LinkedIn resume stuff as much, just because uh, it's it's still very early on. But I need to get on that because I believe sometime in January or February they're probably gonna have career fairs, and I need to be ready for that.
yeah, that's definitely a good thing. I've kind of been skipping out on the career fair things. It's never been like a big priority for me. Um, but like honestly, I really should have been like working on that and like going to those. They even offered extra credit if I went to one last semester. I ended up like acing the shit out of that class anyway, but like probably would have been smart if I had done that, just to get some like experience with that. But, you win some, you lose some,
I
lesson
got
learned.
extra credit for going to mine, but I got like right now, if I look at my grade in that class, it's like 99.
That's that kind of how it was.
So like I don't really need the extra credit, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I generally, felt about it. I was just kind of like, like I'm going to ace this class. It's with a professor who I really like and who I really get along with. And, I kind of speak her language, right? So I'm going to pass anyway. I'm going to get an A anyway. What's the point? I don't want to put on a suit. Fuck that. Fuck putting on suits. I hate that. That shit is not fun. No, no fun to be found in putting on a suit and like talking to people. Ew. Gross. Who wants to do that? You know what I mean? I don't.
You know what? I don't think it was a career fair. I think it was like a social that was like hosted by a company, and the company had like a stand. So it was just one company. It wasn't like a whole bunch of companies.
That's
Um,
fair. That's fair.
but
Right.
yeah, like I still talk to them, and I've also been to a couple of events, all like with they brought companies in for the events, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've talked to a couple of the people from the events, and I've seen like their little showcases, what they're offering, yada yada yada, right? And it's giving me some ideas for sure.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's just a lot to keep in mind.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot to like focus on and keep in mind. That's the fucking hard part about like college, right? Is there's so many like options and shit for stuff that you need to do, right? Or like stuff that you can do, but like at the end of the day, you need to pick one, and it's difficult to choose, and you're kind of paralyzed by indecision. I kind of get that. I'm I I generally know what I want to do, which is like really helpful because like whenever I talk to people who are like I have no idea what I want to do, there's so much shit going on, and it's just like, damn, like what, like I'm glad I have all my shit figured out and like I know what I want, because like if I didn't, I that sounds just so miserable. You know what I mean? That just sounds really fucking annoying and like uh just super undesirable because like uh every day you'd feel like it's like ticking down, right? Like you're getting there, you're gonna have to make a decision, but it's still difficult to like choose, right? I've had that in like other aspects of my life, and it's just fucking like terrible. So I'm glad I don't really have that anymore. Like I generally know what I want to do, and I'm like, I have this plan, I have most of the path laid out, right? Now like the main choice that I have is like, who do I apply to work with, right, for my PhD? And I've got like a year left to really, less a little bit less than a year to decide that, right? You know I've got the holiday break and basically all summer to start, just like reach out to professors and shit who are looking to mentor people for their PhD things, and I can just like reach out to them and be like, hey, what's some work you're doing? You know, hey, that sounds interesting. I'd be glad to join you. I'd be glad to do my dissertation with you. And then they're like, yeah, for sure, apply. And then, you know, but like that's the way like PhD programs are different from masters, right? Like if you are going for a master's, you have to write your thesis, but it's basically just like doing more school, right? Like you're doing classes, you're doing like that sort of thing, right? You're not, you know, it's not really a different sort of environment than normal undergraduate degrees, right? Like working towards your bachelor. um but with a PhD program, you know, you're or a normal doctorate program, you are studying under someone. You are doing a project studying under someone. You are in a cohort with people, right? They have cohorts with masters, but like with doctorates, it's a lot smaller, and there's you are stuck with them day in day out for the rest of your fucking basically for the rest of your fucking life because you're with them for the next 3 years. They're gonna be like people you talk to until you're fucking dead, right? So
Hmm.
that's just how it's gonna be. And you know, you better get to fucking liking them. And generally, you know, there's that proximity effect, right? Where like the more you stay in close contact with somebody, the more you start to like them. And that goes multiple ways. Have you ever heard of like the uh uh the deposition effect?
Don't believe that I've heard that one. No.
So when you're a lawyer, right, you will often go into a room for like deposition, and that will take hours upon hours upon hours, right? And you're in there with the opposing team's counsel, um the witnesses and all that sort of thing, and you're just in that room for like 6 to 8 hours a day with for sometimes for months. And you know, you're just like just from being in like close contact, close proximity, you may start finding out that you have some certain feelings for other members of the of that room. You know what I mean? Even opposing fucking counsel. So that's interesting. You know, like when you are there when you're with someone that often, right? And you start like noticing shit, and your brain is just like, you know, we're in this close proximity, right? It's like, you know, we're gonna be seeing them quite often. You know, I can sort of change my perception about this person to find them more attractive because I know that they're going to be a fixture in my life. And I think that's really fucking fascinating, the way our brain tricks ourselves into finding like uh more like people who are in close proximity to us more attractive, because it's like, well, you know, they're going to be here, and if we can mate with them, you know, we know they're going to be around us. So there you go. I think that's fucking fascinating. That's one of the main reasons why I like fucking psychology, man. It's because your brain does a lot of stupid shit sometimes. Does a lot of silly ass bullshit. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think it is real interesting because I'll hear certain things, like certain facts, that
Mm-hmm.
just on like random YouTube videos where they like do deep dives into like why we act a certain way or why things are the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always psychology necessarily, but like I notice a lot of them that are like psychology.
Yeah.
Like did you ever watch like Vsauce whenever he did like a series, it was like really highly produced.
Mind Field.
Minefield, yes, that one.
It was on YouTube. YouTube Red or YouTube Premium or whatever.
Yeah, I think
So I
it's
only ever watched the free episodes, but
I think there are free episodes. I don't know.
um, they
Yeah.
did an experiment. They did a couple of experiments that were actually really good. Um, the One of the main ones was the trolley problem one that
Yeah,
they
I
did.
like that
That
one.
one
That
was
one
really
was good.
interesting. Um, yeah.
Another one that I thought was interesting was like the one where it was all actors in a room and it was one person that wasn't an actor. And there was this guy that just told really bad jokes and everybody laughed.
Oh yeah, that's a replication of there's some pretty classic conformity uh experiments, right? Um
They also
Actually,
talked about, I think, the Stanford prison experiment at one point.
they did that too. That one's a little bit controversial nowadays. Just because like it's kind of it's kind of difficult to replicate ethics wise, and b there's a lot of things that you can criticize Zimbardo about, vis-a-vis his like his methods.
Hmm.
He was you can kind of be like, yeah, you kind of fucked up here, you kind of fucked up here. um Sometimes there's a bit of debate about the validity as well, right? Like, we can't test its reliability because we can't do that experiment again. And also, there's a lot of people who say, oh, well, that's just human nature. People will do that if they're like following orders and stuff. And, people are naturally cruel. And it's just like, that's not really a conclusion you can draw from that, right? Like, we're not like that's not what it was like super that's not what it was testing for. And it's probably not accurate for what it was testing for. So at the end of the day, it's not a great experiment. But that whole conformity thing about the jokes and stuff, there's an experiment you can do right now. Talk to like get some friends over, right? Talk to like Dylan's girlfriend, and just be like, hey, I'm gonna tell a joke, right? It's not gonna make any sense. I need you to laugh at it anyway, right? And
Well,
you're
I've actually seen. I'm not sure if you've seen like these like TikTok or Instagram reels about this. My brother showed me them. It's kind of a very similar thing, right?
mhm.
Where like an influencer will go up to like a random person. They'll say a joke that doesn't make sense, but they'll laugh at it, and it kind of the other person kind of like maybe it's because it's a little bit of an uncomfortable situation. Will also just join in laughing. You know what I mean, right?
Mhm. Yeah, it's the fucking it's the
And
no
then
soap radio thing, right?
and then they turn it back on them. They're just like, why is it funny? you know?
Yeah, it's the no soap radio thing, right? Two penguins are in a bathtub in the desert. Um, one asks them to one asks the other to pass the soap, and the other one says, "No soap, radio." You know, and you just wait for people to laugh at that, and like the awkwardness, and especially if you have Confederates who are like, who you tell them to laugh at the joke, that they feel that social pressure to laugh. And so yeah, I agree, that one's really interesting. The other one that I remember seeing that was free was when Michael locked himself in a room
Oh yeah, the
for
isolation one. Yeah, that one
yeah,
was.
and the sensory deprivation one as well. Because it wasn't just the isolation. It was he was in there. Everything is white. There's like no forms of like entertainment or anything. The lights are always the same, you know. And he was like going stir crazy. I forget how long they
I
had
think
him in
they're
there
all.
for.
I think all the episodes are free now because I don't think YouTube Originals is still a program they do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I might have to look, but if they are free, I might check the rest of them out because that
Yeah,
that is interesting. And Michael's just a really good presenter, right? Like, there's a reason why Vsauce fucking popped the fuck off, and it's because Michael's just fucking great, right?
the other Vsauce channels are pretty decent too. I watched Vsauce 2 and 3 a little bit, but definitely Michael, you know, Vsauce 1, he's definitely I think the most entertaining presenter.
When Vsauce Michael says, "Hey, do you want to play with my toys?" is fucking like that's no
He
one else could
always
pull that off.
he always has something that's like just slightly just I don't know, it's just something about it, you know?
He's got an energy that is completely irreparable, or irreplicable. You know what I mean? Like, no one else could be Vsauce Michael. Vsauce Michael is Vsauce Michael, right? That that blend of comedy plus insight, awkwardness plus like charisma, right? That specific blend, no one else has that, and he's just like perfect at it, right? he's
That is
he's
what it
just
is. It's like that awkwardness. I feel like that's definitely part of it, right?
yeah, exactly. So just like the way he like presents it is really really like perfect, right? He no one else can get that blend. So he's just like in a league of his own. people trying to be him. And I think that's why the other Vsauce channels never took off. Obviously, Vsauce 1 has been around for longer, but
Well, they also cover like slightly different topics. Like I know that one of them covers more like math related like
I think that's Vsauce
things.
2.
And I can't remember exactly what the third one does. I remember there was a video about paradoxes on I think Vsauce 3 that I liked a lot.
I think Vsauce 3 is more like pop culture stuff.
Maybe, yeah, cause like the paradox video I liked a lot. Cause I was like that paradoxes has always been a thing that's been kind of interesting.
I think that was Vsauce 1. I think that one was Vsauce 1. Because
No,
I
no,
think
no.
that was
It's
Michael.
definitely. I no. I remember the other guy though. The what's his?
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe they revisited it on Vsauce 2, but Vsauce 1 definitely did a video on certain paradoxes. And yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. Mike,
it's Vsauce 3.
yeah. I would love to interview Michael in real life to like see how like I've seen, the what's Anthony Padilla's podcast on? Or what's it called?
The interview one that he does.
Yeah, what's that
I don't
called?
I don't know if he has a name for it. I think it's just where he interviews people.
That's crazy. Imagine like having like a whole super successful like podcast thing and you just don't have a name for it. Like just zero brand activation at all. Just
It's
no name for it.
I spent today with, I think that's what it is. I
See,
spent
but
today with.
but that doesn't make any sense because he's just interviewing them. And the interview only takes like an hour. You are not spending an entire 24-hour period.
Well,
Anthony, you
I
need to change the name. You need to change the name, Anthony.
he also has like other like little mini shows. I haven't watched Anthony Padilla in a bit, but he does have mini shows which is like the truth about or assumptions, which are just slightly different things.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly,
I
but
haven't
but
really
like
kept up with him though.
yeah, I haven't. But like I saw the interview he did with Michael, and Michael's he's a lot more like natural speaking with that. But like I wonder like what percent of his persona in the videos is put on, and like what percent is just normal, right? Like that's really interesting to me. That's sort of the thing that like and I'm gonna talk about this before we go to the ad break. I have a special little announcement, right? I've already made it um on our social media, but just in case you missed it, I got a really exciting interview. Incredibly influential interviews is back. We're back, and we're back with a bang, right? We got this really really talented content creator over on YouTube, um, Big Beak Entertainment, right? One of my favorite creators, um, certainly underappreciated, but still a pretty sizable audience, right? Over 100,000 subs, and just seeing like which parts of his personality were sort of put on for the videos and which ones are natural is super interesting. So like if you're like a fan of the content, you should watch it. If you're a fan of YouTube, you should watch it because we got a lot of like really good advice for YouTube creators, because he's pretty successful. He made it to the trending page, right? So if you make it to the trending page, you're doing something right. And yeah, so that was really really insightful. And so I would love to do that with someone like Vsauce, someone like um ooh, one of my favorite creators who I think would be really awesome to do that style of interview with. Have you ever heard of internet comment etiquette?
I've heard of it, I believe. I don't think I've ever seen them though.
Oh, he so I've I've borrowed this explanation from Jack's films, but I see internet comment etiquette as like the YouTuber's YouTuber, right? Like one of those people who like it's like a filmmaker's filmmaker, right? Like someone who doesn't get a lot of like mainstream attention, but like people who are in the know about filmmaking, people who like actually want to make films themselves, right? They really appreciate them. That's how I feel about comment etiquette. Another YouTuber, we talk about it in the interview, Killian Experience, because he's a Big Beak was really influenced by Killian, and So like talking about that, you know, he's a big YouTuber, right? Like he's got these really like high concept videos that like and a lot of like really strong editing and really strong writing that like wouldn't would kind of be lost on like mainstream audiences, right? Like, you know, just the average person who like turns on YouTube just to, you know, have something to watch while they eat, right? They may not really grasp all the nuances of like, oh, that editing technique is really stylishly used there, or that joke is really interesting, or like that's a reference to some high concept sort of thing, right? And it's just like I would love to like really pick their brains about that. You know, I did actually, you know, I reached out to Killian to do an interview, and unfortunately we did get turned down. That was kind of sad, but you know, having to having this opportunity to do the interview with Big Beak was actually really cool and really entertaining. So it comes out this Friday morning, um, 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Central. Uh, you know, uh, if you're interested in YouTube, or if you just like hearing my voice, you should go check it out because it's really fucking cool. But anywho, let's go do the other ad break where I talk about other ads. Love you. Goodbye. We'll be back in a minute. Goodbye. Love you. This podcast is sponsored by Amanda Redwine, your no nonsense talk therapist and parent coach, serving individuals and couples in both Illinois and Florida for counseling/therapy, as well as worldwide for parent coaching. Amanda's specialty is working with teens and young adults, as well as their family systems. Amanda has extensive experience working with youth who identify on the LGBTQIA+ spectrum. She has also done couples work based on a foundation of the Gottman method. She brings a light, no nonsense approach to treatment that is approachable and empathetic. She is unflappable and makes her clients comfortable from the very beginning. Find out more at www.amandaredwine.com. That's AMANDAREDWINE.com. Thank you again for sponsoring this episode, and back to the show.
Let's go.
All right, we're back. Um, Sorry about the the shilling there at the end of that part one, but hey, you know, I'm excited about it. I thought it was pretty cool. You know, how often do you get to talk to you know, semi big, you know, YouTube channel, right? I don't get to do that very often. So,
Not
well,
very often. No.
yeah, I mean, well, you know, I'm in his Discord server, and like he usually, you know, like responds to me. He's pretty responsive in his Discord server. He's like the only YouTuber who does that. But like anywho, you know, I'm not apologizing for shilling. Fuck you. Um but yeah, so I'm pretty stoked about that Friday morning. And then after that, uh after my you know, my last finals done on Friday, on Saturday I get to fucking leave this shithole of Illinois. I get to go to the fucking warm weather. It's gonna be so awesome. I'm going down to fucking Florida. It's gonna be so hype. Um yeah, I'm going down to Florida for 2 weeks. So I don't know how that's gonna affect the podcast schedule. I'm that if we skip an episode or two, you know, don't be mad. Don't be mad at me, okay? It's not my fault. It is my fault, but I don't want to be blamed for it. So fuck you. Um, yeah, so that might happen. So just bear with us. You know, it's okay. It's okay. You'll survive if you don't hear us for a week, right? I mean, your week is gonna be inexorably worse, but like, you know, you'll live, right? You know what I mean? It's like breaking an arm, right? It's not fatal, but it's gonna be really painful and you'll suffer. Um, yeah, yeah. Anywho, um, so yeah, what are you doing for the holidays?
Um. Well, I have my trip, but I think I've told you about it. I'm not sure if I spoke about it on here, but I'm going to Costa Rica for a week.
Costa Rica.
My first time out of the country, which should be pretty fun. I'm probably gonna start packing like tomorrow, cause I'm gonna be leaving this weekend, this next weekend here.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Sounds pretty interesting. Sounds pretty fun.
and then after that, my cousin is getting back because well, he hasn't graduated yet, but he's gonna have his graduation in a couple days from the Marines. So he's gonna be
Mm-hmm.
back for the holidays. Uh, like me and him and my brother, we were all getting really, really close this like January. And I want to try to, you know, keep hanging out with him a little bit more, because now that we're all like, 21, we can have a lot more fun. You know what I mean?
Danny, you've been 21 for a long time. You didn't
Yeah,
start having
but
fun
but
until like
but
6 months ago.
he wasn't 21. Also, I had a lot of other things going on.
Like
Uh,
what?
um, I don't remember my past. I'm sorry.
How do you? I don't remember my past. That's something.
No, I don't remember anything past like I don't know, like January of this year. The sad thing is, it's like partly a joke, but it's actually kind of true. Like I feel like it's really hard for me to remember things. I feel like I like kind of like just have like a mental block.
That's fair.
Uh, so half joking, half true, I guess.
That's fair. I kind of get that. I don't know. I'm okay. I've still got some pretty decent memory, I guess. Kind of. I don't know. It comes and goes, right? Like half the time when I'm driving, I'll get to my destination and I'll realize, oh shit, I don't remember uh, anything between getting in the car and getting here. I don't remember that at all, right?
That's the greatest though, because you just zone out. And
Yeah,
especially like I put on like some good music, and I just zone out.
yeah. It's like time traveling to the future in your own body. It's crazy. It's awesome. I love it. It's my favorite thing. I don't know.
Like I always describe uh to people whenever they like you know how people like talk about dreams sometimes, right?
Yeah.
I don't like typically dream, so I always kind of like for me it's like one of those movie transitions where it just fades to black and then I'm awake. You know what I mean? That's how it kind of feels to me.
Yeah. I mean, I usually go through like, oh shit. Oh fuck. I usually go through like periods where sometimes I'll dream more and sometimes I'll dream less. It all depends on your sleep schedule, right? Because like if you're cuz usually if you're like getting sleep patterns, then that means that you're sleeping in the same way, which means you're hitting the same stages, which means you're hitting the REM dreaming point more often, right? um so like that makes sense, to like you dream more in cycles, right? And so like if one day, you're not sort of what's the word, like if like you start not hitting the REM stage as much, you're going to consistently not do that until you change your sleep patterns. And so, I sort of, all this to say, I dream in like patterns. And usually when I get like nightmares and stuff like that, it's not like a one-time occurrence. For some reason, with the whole like sleeping in stages thing, sleeping in patterns, I get fucking nightmares in patterns, right? So it'll be like 3 days, 4 days a week where every time I go to bed, I have a nightmare, right? Instead of, normal dreams or no dreams at all, right? You'd think that it would be more even handed when it's like, you dream, uh, like, you have equal chance of dreaming good or bad, or maybe more likely to dream good, but like, I don't know why they come in stages. I would love to like look that up and like do some research on that, but I don't know,
Science
maybe I'm just
dreams is
weird.
pretty, I think, underdeveloped.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to study them because a lot of times, they don't commit to memory as well. It depends on like if your hippocampus is
You
popping
know,
off.
Yeah, I've also noticed that like when I usually do dream, it's like really early morning. Like right as it's like when I'm half asleep, half awake. That's whenever I have dreams. And then as soon as I become fully awake, I forget almost everything about the dream,
Mm-hmm.
except
Mm-hmm.
for the fact that I was in a dream. I
That's
can't
fair.
remember any details. It's like, and it's crazy because like 1 second I'll be in the dream, second I won't remember anything about it, which is so weird. You think I would remember something, but no, it just all disappears.
Yeah.
Very rarely can I actually remember something from a dream.
Yeah. I think you probably just have like a quirk in your brain where when you're dreaming, your hippocampus is still asleep, so you're not really, connecting with all that sort of thing. Um, you want? Do you want to know something scary about my dreams?
What's
Um, so how like sometimes when you're having a nightmare, you feel like you can't move, right? Or
that?
like when you're like dreaming, you feel like you can't move. Uh, that's because while you're asleep, your brain typically shuts off the movement centers of your body, right? Um, movement. So like if you like thrash around in a dream, you'd wake yourself up, and you wouldn't be hitting the post REM sleep. Which, by the way, fun fact: uh, the REM cycle, the rapid eye movement cycle. A lot of people think that that's the best kind of sleep to get. It's not. You want to be getting post REM. You want to get into that stage where you're hitting that, and then you go past that. So if you start thrashing about when you start dreaming in the REM cycle, you're not getting the best kind of sleep, the most restful. So your brain shuts off the movement centers of your body, and it shuts off your speech center, so you don't sleep talk, right? Some people who sleep talk, they have a quirk in their brains where that doesn't shut off as well. But for me, I'm not a sleep talker, but when I'm in a nightmare, I want to scream, and all that can come out is like a whisper. So that's fucking terrifying, right? Imagine that. Like
Well,
imagine
like
being
I know how that is because I've had that happen once or twice where like I'll my eyes are open and I can kind of like see my surroundings, you know what I mean? But I can't move, because I'm still asleep, right? Like sleep paralysis, right? That sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. What does
Um,
your sleep paralysis demon look like?
I've never really noticed a demon per se, and don't know. I don't really remember how I get out of the sleep paralysis. I just remember that I'm in sleep paralysis, and then I'm not, I guess.
That's you know, I feel like it's that way for everyone.
But I
The way
don't see.
you know,
I feel like I don't remember the transition from not being from being to not being though. That's the thing. I just don't remember a lot from dreams. Like I said, for me, it really is just like a movie transition. Like it fades to black. I wake up, new day.
yeah, I've always wondered like, you know, so like I said, your hippocampus is where all the memory stuff happens in your brain usually. And that usually shuts down about 4 to 5 minutes before you hit like real sleep. So it is kind of funny and also kind of terrifying depending on how you look at it, that every night before you go to sleep something really terrible and like horrifying could happen that you just wouldn't remember when you woke up because the hippocampus is shut off. So unless you filmed yourself going to sleep every time, you would never know. So like maybe every time you go to sleep, P Diddy crawls in through your window and diddles you, and you just have no idea, right? Fucking no, like Baba Yaga could come in on her house on a chicken leg and fucking sprinkle some angel dust in your pee hole, what right as you're about to go to sleep, and you just wouldn't remember it at all. Isn't that kind of terrifying? Just like food for thought.
I suppose, yeah. I guess that makes sense, you know. But most people don't remember things while they're asleep. You know, that's
No,
kind of
no,
the.
no. It's before you go to sleep. It's before you go to sleep. It's about 4 to 5 minutes before you hit like full unconsciousness. Your hippocampus shuts off first, so you cannot. Most I will say I won't say like everyone, but most people cannot remember the for the last little bit of them being awake before they go to sleep because
Well,
that
yeah,
part just
man.
shuts off.
Like that's so true. You know, I'm over here watching my YouTube video, and I'm thinking to myself, man, how did that video end? You know, I'll never know.
Exactly.
And then my
That
phone's dead in the
happens.
morning. My autoplay is like played 40 videos.
Why aren't they playing my videos, Danny? Get my numbers up.
Well, you're not on my autoplay, I guess. I don't know.
Put me in your autoplay, you fuck. You fuck.
That's not how autoplay works.
You have to
Like,
train the algorithm to fucking suggest my videos to you, which means you need to watch my videos more while you're awake.
you know what was so strange? I was watching like a random like comment, like not a commentary video, but like a video game like just person video, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then it auto played a video of it was like a 4 hour video of uh like beginner's guide to C, the programming language.
Not C plus, not C plus plus.
No, it was just C. And I was thinking to myself, how did I go from this to that? You know what I mean? And if I wasn't like actively like watching the video, if I was just like playing in the background, I would have never probably known, you
Yeah,
know? And it
that would
would
have
have
been
just been
weird.
playing a 4 hour video of me like learning a programming language. And it's just strange sometimes what the algorithm will autoplay, you know?
Well, I mean, you've.
Like
Let,
sometimes it'll make sense, but like sometimes I'm like, I don't know about that.
I mean, let me pull up a random video right now on YouTube. Right, let me pull up, or I have one right now. The Killian experience video. What's in my suggested? A video close to the same title about the same topic from another channel that I like, and then Jenny Nicholson video about the Taylor Swift album Evermore. Uh, a random Critical Role episode from 11 months ago. More Star Wars lore.
You
The
know,
oral history of PopCap games.
you know what else I've noticed? I sometimes will get autoplayed like the same video that I've watched like 5 times already because it keeps popping up in autoplay.
Well, you don't ever turn it off, so that means it's good. Apparently.
But every time I actively see it on, I'll click off of it. But whenever I don't see it on, it'll just automatically play sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, but
And I'm just
like
like, I
that's
know
how the
what
algorithm
happened.
works. The
I know what
algorithm
happens.
the algorithm says like when you're watching it, like if you're watching it and you're not turning it off, that means you like it. It's like it's like how like if a guy starts sucking your dick and you don't like be like, "Hey man, stop sucking my dick." Then, you're kind of liking it. What does that say about you? You know what I mean? Right? Like it's a little, what does that say about your preferences, about who you are as a person, right? What does that mean? What does that what conclusions can you draw from there's a man sucking your dick and you didn't tell him to stop, you know? Like what are you going to do about it, right?
There's things you're saying. I just don't. I'm not. I don't. You
I have a
know.
joke for you. You want to hear a joke?
I suppose.
Don't worry. It's not as long as the fucking the monkey joke. Don't worry. It's okay. It's okay. I know you're worried about that, but it's okay. Um so there's a tattoo artist, right? Can you picture that in your mind's eye? A tattoo artist?
Sure.
All right. And this lady comes in and she's like, "Oh, I want a new tattoo, but I don't, like I don't know where to get it." And so she's like showing off her body, right? And she's absolutely covered in them, right? She's absolutely covered in them. Um and so the tattoo artist is like, I don't know where I could fit one, honestly, right? You're kind of already covered. And she's like, "Well, I mean, there's one spot that I don't have one, right?" Uh And he's like, "Oh, where's that?" And she's like, "Oh, my coochie, my cooter." And he's like, "Oh, okay, all right, I guess I can do that." Um, so, she drops trow, right? She whips it out. Um, and he's like, "I'm gonna have to numb this, right?" And she's like, "All right, do whatever you got to do." And he's like, "Okay, num 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 num."
Wow.
I was waiting. I was like, the time in between me finishing that joke and your little nose exhale felt like an eternity. That was the fucking that was the like the worst second and a half of my life. But the fact that I got the fucking nose exhale, that's oh man, that was so satisfying. I'm so glad I got you with that. That's fucking great. Thank you.
I
Thank you,
know
Danny.
Excel is barely something, but you know what, you take what you can get, I suppose. You know.
It's something. It's something. I'll take it. I will take that. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that worked. That made me feel really good. That made me feel good about myself. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. I'm so
You
dumb.
know, I've been watching a lot of movies lately. You know, I didn't realize there was so many movies coming out recently.
Yeah. I
You've been watching any movies?
no. I was gonna go over Thanksgiving because there's nothing really else to do. But there wasn't shit that come out, right? It's that fucking shitty Red One movie, Gladiator Two, which sucked, Wicked, which is dumb. If you like musicals, you're gay.
Wicked was
Um,
good. I
it was
liked Moana
terrible.
too. I want to watch Gladiator
Moana
too.
Moana Two was bad. Do you know why Moana Two was so bad?
Everybody just hates, like the new musical people, but I think the new musical people did a good job. I like their songs.
No, so Moana Two is bad because the it's sort of a Star Wars: The Clone Wars movie situation where uh they had 4 episodes of a TV show and they re-edited it into a movie. So
It was
Moana,
supposed to be a TV show. I did hear about
yeah.
that.
So Moana, audience, if you didn't know, Moana 2 was originally supposed to be a Moana TV show that was going on Disney Plus, but because the Disney Plus TV shows are kind of flopping as of late, you know, um, Star Wars: The Acolyte was doing, that was the big example, but the Agatha Harkness TV show, right? Did you even watch that?
Uh, if I ever catch up, it'll be on my list.
I
Um,
haven't I haven't watched it. I couldn't give a fuck about it, right?
I'm very far behind, and I just don't think I care enough. Um,
I love me some Catherine Hahn, but fucking not enough to watch that. I love Aubrey Plaza too, right? Like I should want to see it, right?
man,
You know,
Aubrey Plaza, man, I kind of just for her, I haven't
Danny,
seen
stop
her
being horny.
more. I'm
But
trying to think of what else I've seen her in.
Wiccan was in it too. Wiccan's one of my favorite characters from the comics, right? I watched Moon Knight only because Moon Knight's one of my favorite characters in the comics. I love Wiccan. Still haven't watched the fucking show. Still haven't watched the fucking show that he's in. That he's making his like real debut appearance as like an actual character and not just a fucking child, right? Like I should have been watching it. It should have grabbed my interest, but it didn't, right? So Disney Plus is struggling with that. Um, like right now, the
But
only thing.
some of the shows have been all right, I just feel like
Oh yeah, Andor was fantastic. Some people are calling it like the best Star Wars content ever made. I
and
wouldn't go that far, but
and
it's
I
pretty good.
even like before Disney Plus, I feel like some of the what's it called? The Disney shows they made based off of the movies were pretty decent too.
I don't know about that one.
Not
Or
all of them, but I know
what are you talking like Goof Troop or like the Little Mermaid TV show?
the only one that I've watched that I liked. I haven't watched all of them. I need to watch more to see if more are good. The only one I watched and I liked was the Tangled one. I like the Tangled show.
How long ago was that?
That was like 2020. It was that long ago.
Oh, okay. When I was talking about like the Little Mermaid show and like Lilo and Stitch and like Goof Troop. that shit was like from my childhood. Like fucking, I think they were done making episodes uh when I got out of diapers. That's how old it was. You know what I mean? Like that's when, that's what I'm talking about. Cause like the whole phenomenon of doing like animated TV shows after doing like an animated movie is not new to Disney, right? Like they were doing that shit on Disney Channel fucking years ago, right? But those shows never really popped off, right? The Lilo and Stitch show never really popped off.
The
I
the
don't see a lot
Lilo
of
and
people.
Stitch show. I remember I watched it. I just remember they added so many more. It was like all the different aliens, right?
Yeah,
It was like
it.
it was like it was like Pokemon, but like Lilo and Stitch. It was like we got a new Pokemon every episode, a
Yeah,
new
exactly.
and a new
Right.
Lilo and Stitch alien every episode.
And if I wanted to watch a show like that, I would watch Digimon. Digimon, digital monsters. Digimon are the
I
champions.
I only watched Indigo League. I haven't watched any of the other ones.
Hey
Digimon.
Digimon, hey Digimon, friends to all of the boys and girls. Digimon, hey Digimon,
That
champions
is.
of the digital world.
You know
Yeah.
what show I've seen clips of before that I've thought about going back and watching was
Mm-hmm.
The Hercules show. I don't know
I think
anything
I only
about
watched
it.
like one or two episodes of it.
I don't know anything about it except for the clips, but some of the clips look like they might be interesting.
I don't know.
I
I'm
don't think as a show it's probably gonna be very interesting, but I feel like the clips might be interesting.
I mean, I don't know. Like fucking the only reason I'm watching or like the only things I was watching on Disney Plus are that new Star Wars show that's like kind of like the Goonies. I wouldn't say it's like Stranger Things because even in season 1 of Stranger Things, the kids were all a little too old. Like these kids are like 10 or 11, right? Or like maybe the oldest one is like 12, right? In Stranger Things season 1, they were more like, 13, 14. And I feel like there's a big gap between 12 and 13, right? There's a big fucking gap there, you know? Cuz like when I was watching Stranger Things, right? Millie Bobby Brown is a little bit younger than me. She was like the first time that there was like a big celebrity who I could like remember who was younger than me at the time, right? That's when I started realizing that I'm really fucking old and
I've started noticing that, a little bit, where a lot of like actors are either my age,
or
um,
younger.
or like a little younger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just
Um
like, when did that start happening? You know what I mean? What's going on? You know,
yeah,
it feels like something's wrong with the universe a little bit.
that's how it is for me on YouTube. Like I'll see a lot of people. Tommy Innit is younger than me.
Well, with YouTube, it's a little different because YouTube, I feel like there's always been people of all different ages on YouTube. Like for YouTube, I think it's more acceptable. But I'm talking about like mainstream media, right?
Yeah,
Like
I mean that's true.
like if I look up like just random like actresses and actors that I can think of, right? Like what like Jenna Ortega, like how old is she? She's probably around my age.
Yeah,
No,
Olivia
she's young. Yeah,
Rodrigo.
yeah. Olivia Jenna's younger than me. You know what I mean?
Oh shit, I'm older than Jenna Ortega. I'm a week older than her. She's
Yeah, she's September 27, 2002.
fuck.
See what I mean?
Fuck, I'm
Like you see what
old.
I mean? It's
Wait,
like
that this is crazy. This is crazy, right? Okay.
what about what's her name? The blonde one from
Sabrina Carpenter, she's I think a little bit older than me.
No, Sabrina. I actually that's a great.
Yeah,
Okay,
Sabrina
no, she
Carpenter's 25.
she's older than me too, just by a little bit. So we're good in that one. I was talking about the other one, Sydney Sweeney,
Oh, Ms. Sweeney, yes. She's older. I think she's
Sydney
yeah, I was going to say she's
Sweeney.
getting close to 30. She's 27, yeah.
Okay, yeah, she just played a young person in that one show. You're right.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. In Euphoria. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what's the other girl's name? The one who played
Zendaya?
uh no. I think Isabella Marquez.
Merced. Jesus, you're
Merc-
fucking terrible Mexican, dude.
I didn't know the name. All right, I'm just looking it up by
She's
how it's spelled.
23.
Yeah, I'm older than her too.
Yeah. Uh
I'm trying to think of more people around that age. I feel like you get the point though. This is unacceptable behavior. But
Olivia Rodrigo
what about
is
Owly? I don't know how to pronounce this. I feel real bad. Owly. There's an
Aulii
apostrophe.
Cravalho.
Yeah, Owly Cravallo.
That
She's
apostrophe is a
she's
glottal stop.
she's 3 months. Oh I think that's right. Yeah, 3 months younger than me.
That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. She was
3 months.
fucking 16 when she did Moana. That's nuts. Imagine. Imagine. Yeah.
They're all either around my age or younger than me. At least she's like the one that's closest to my age. At least you know what I mean. Like so, like I'm like it's not as bad.
Yeah, but like we're getting fucking old, man.
Once
Like
they start being like 4 or 5 years younger than me, that's whenever I'm gonna have a problem. I'm gonna be like,
what
what's going on?
when I turned 20, I was like, "Oh shit, I can't be in the Forbes 20 under 20 anymore." You know? Now I have to shoot for the 30 under 30. And that's going to be difficult, you know? I cuz like it's a wider selection, but like, people are more successful by then. So like the gap is higher, you know? Like 20 under 20. No, I would say 20 under 20 is about equally hard to get into.
I
And
feel
then
like it.
40 under 40 is you know, like think about like how old like certain people are, right? Like, you know, 40 years ago was 1984, right? Which is kind of fucked up, right? Tell a Gen Xer that 1984 was 40 years ago, um, and they'll probably throw up a little bit
That
because
was
they're
four
old.
years before Beetlejuice came out.
What was Beetlejuice was in 88? Really?
I'm pretty sure it's been 36 years since Beetlejuice came out, if I'm correct.
Why'd they choose to do the thing? Yeah, 88. Why'd they choose to do it this year on the 36th anniversary? That's dumb. They should have done it either 6 years ago or waited another 4 years.
I don't know. I feel like with with this type of thing, you know, the actors, the, not obviously not all the actors were even able to be a part of the new one. They kind of had to write out the parents, the two, no, not the parents, the couple.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have they passed? Is that why they're not part of it, or are they just not around? I don't.
No, wasn't it fucking Alec Baldwin?
Oh yeah, it is. Wait, no, Alec.
It was Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah,
God,
yeah.
I'm
So
so fucking smart. I haven't even seen that movie, and I'm still so fucking smart.
you haven't
Holy
seen
fuck!
Beetlejuice?
No,
It's a classic.
I know what happens in it. Fucking random Tim Burton bullshit. You know.
Yeah, 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 but it's a classic. Random Tim Burton bullshit.
I've seen I've seen his bullshit before. You know.
You
I've
know,
seen Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I've seen fucking Alice in Wonderland. You know.
yeah, but like I watched a movie yesterday. I think I told you about it. Um, it was like a film festival movie, so I think it wasn't as big, But my brother told me about it, and I was like, it sounds interesting. It was called The Return. Uh, and it was
The Return of
about.
what?
Well, let me tell you what it's about, and then you kind of figure it out, right?
Uh huh.
It's about Odysseus getting back to his island after 20 years,
Uh huh.
and him having to like, you know, kill the suitors, get back his wife,
Ah, yes. The least interesting part of that story. Yeah. That's that's the part I care about.
You think that's the least interesting part? I feel like that's a pretty. I feel like this. Okay, well, there are a lot of interesting parts of the Odyssey, but I feel like the whole thing is interesting, in my opinion.
When Odysseus fucking he has to worry about both Charybdis on one side and Scylla in the other. Um, yeah, no, way more interesting than killing a bunch of random fucking dudes. Not interesting.
I
Not
thought
fucking interesting.
I thought it was interesting. I liked the movie. I thought the movie was really solid. And then after that, uh, what's it called? We ended up coming back to the house and we hung out with Amanda. She came by and we ended up watching another movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we ended up watching an old rom com. Well, not I don't even know if it's really a comedy. It's more like just a romance movie. Maybe it was called say Serendipity.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a romance comedy either because
It's not really comedy. I don't
it's
think.
not funny. Yeah.
Is it classified as a rom com because it doesn't have comedy in it
I
really.
mean,
Like
like they're trying to be funny. They're just
maybe a tiny bit, but it doesn't really feel like it's like a rom com in the way that I would imagine a rom com. You know. But we watched Serendipity because we were like, oh man, you haven't watched Serendipity, so let's watch Serendipity. You know, that type of thing.
I mean, it is the season for it. It's supposed, it's a Christmas movie.
It is a Christmas movie, you know, and I feel like
I mean,
she hadn't seen it, so she didn't like the premise. Apparently, it's not cool to to uh to cheat on your partner, even if it's in a rom com movie where you know they're it is interesting. You know, you don't really think about I think the side characters in rom coms too much, but
that is true. I always do. I always do think about that, and that's kind of
the thing
like
is
fucked up.
they're always usually framed as like bad people. So you like usually you're like, ah, you know, they probably deserved it. But in Serendipity, like they didn't do anything wrong. In fact, like they're like really good partners.
Yeah, it's
And
just
they're getting
they're not
screwed
the right
over.
person. Yeah, exactly.
And like it's so sad, you know what I mean? Like but at the same time, you're kind of rooting for like the main characters a little bit. So it's like you're torn, you know what I mean? You're like, ah, you know, that's
Yeah,
sad. It's unfortunate. I don't know.
like isn't the is it the chick who's getting married or is it the guy who's getting married?
The guy's getting married and the chick just got engaged to.
Yeah, like imagine like you're right at the cusp of like getting married and shit like that, and your fucking boyfriend and girlfriend fucking leave you for someone else, right? Jesus Christ.
Like, but like the reveal of whenever what's it called? She gives him the book. That was wild. Like, that's it's like so sad for her because she doesn't even know what she just did.
Yeah, I don't know. She's also kind of fucking crazy. She's a little bit too manic pixie dream girl for me. You know what I mean?
Well, I feel like that's just like a bride thing though. Not necessarily, might not just be like how she is normally. You know,
No,
I feel like
like in the thing where she's like, "Oh, I'm not gonna fucking tell you my last name. I'm not gonna. We're gonna do. I'm gonna put my number in the fucking love in the
oh,
time
you
of
mean that
cholera."
girl?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's she's too manic pixie dream girl for me. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know. I feel like if you're into it, you're into it. If you're not, you're not. But I feel like there's nothing wrong with it necessarily.
it's too much. You cross a line at some point, right? Zoe Deschanel is kind of is kind of
I I
manic pixie
I
dream
do
girl.
think that in like a realistic setting, it does feel like too much because I think that asking fate to do that much for you is a lot. You know,
That's
in a movie, I can kind of like suspend my disbelief a little bit,
but
but
she's in real life she would be fucking crazy, right?
yeah, a
You
little bit.
know
Yeah.
the sex would be incredible. You know the sex would be incredible because crazy women are good in bed. But I don't know if it would be worth it. There's a crazy to hot ratio, right?
Oh my god, like yeah,
B- Barney Stinson
yeah, that's
praise
exactly
be
what I
his
was
name.
the, the crazy to hot ratio. That's exact. I've been watching so much How I Met Your Mother recently, and like that's the as soon as you said that, I like light went off in my brain.
I need to go and do it. I need to go and like actually watch it because I keep seeing all these clips on my fucking
Oh my
uh
god, there's like he has so many good clips throughout the whole show because his whole thing is like rules, right? He has the crazy hot scale. He has like a rule for like every like
yeah, the
scenario. You know
bro
what I mean?
code. Yeah, 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 100%.
Oh
I
my
keep
god, the
seeing all these like
Baroque.
clips and they're really funny. They're great, but like why like I don't want to like spoil the whole show for me, right? So like I need to go in and start watching it. But like I have too many shows on right now because I'm watching the new Star Wars show. I'm finishing House. I'm on the last season of House. Then I have to watch that Penguin show, the Dune show. Rings of Power season 2 came out and I liked the first season. I'm one of the fucking 3 people who liked the first season on the whole, and now I have to fucking I completely skipped that. Man, I don't know. It fucking sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks.
See, I don't really have any shows right now. That's why I've just been rewatching How I Met Your Mother. But like, it's so funny. Like, there's so many good clips. Like,
It's
have you seen the one clip where it's him and the main character, and they're talking about how nice it would be if they were both gay?
yes, yeah,
That one's so funny. Like, especially like in the context of the episode as well. Because that clip actually has two parts. There's the first part where they're talking about being gay, right?
and
And then
then
there's the
they
second
adopt a
part.
kid. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the second part where they're talking about adopting a kid as like a straight couple, as like a straight like bro friendship or
Two
whatever.
straight. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And like
My
both,
two straight dads. Yeah,
yeah, and it's like it's just they're so funny. They're so funny.
yeah.
Barney Stinson, he's a fun guy to have around. You know,
He
I
is
I get
great.
why they keep him in the group. You know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and I saw the clip talking about like where Ted is like, you know, and that's why we had Barney around because you know you never got to where you thought you needed to go, but you
Oh
always
yeah,
had a good story.
that's like season one. So, and that's I don't know if you know what the episode's about, but yeah, that's a good episode too.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to go and fucking watch that, but I just have so many shows right now. I need to get through House. This is how I watch shows. I try and I like if it's not like a weekly release thing, I binge it. I straight through, no deviations, do not pass go, do not collect $200. Like I will not watch anything else, right? Like
Well, yeah.
it came to a point where I was like, "Hey, hey, um my the Hulu part of my Disney Plus thing got canceled, right? So I had no way to watch House. I stopped watching TV shows. I completely went cold turkey because I couldn't finish House. And I don't know, maybe I'm just quirked up like that. I don't know. I don't know. I probably am just way too quirky. Oh my god. I'm too quirky. But yeah, I don't know. I've fucking yeah. That's just me. I'm weird like that. But I'm almost done with House. I'm on the last season. We're getting there. It's close. We're approaching the end. And it's kind of fucking me up to be honest cuz like it's kind of a wild ride from start to finish with House. It's kind of crazy. And I know how it ends. I kind of spoiled it for myself cuz I didn't think I would get too into the show. And like I don't know. I think this might be my favorite show of all time. Honestly, it's looking pretty solid. It's looking like it's a good. It's gonna be a good fucking contender for best show of all time. Go watch House, everybody. It's really good. It's on I don't know if it's on HBO Prime or HBO Max or Amazon Prime because I get HBO Max through Amazon. So I don't know which one it's on, but look it up. It used to be on Hulu. I got my Hulu canceled, so I don't know if it still is. But I'm finishing it on Amazon and I'm powering through it. I'm watching it with ads and it's still worth it. That's how much I fucking love House. House is such a great fucking show. Um, I don't know.
Yeah. I need to like probably pick up another show, but I'm like on the last season of How I Met Your Mother, so I'm just trying to finish it out.
House, House, House. Do it.
I I don't know what House is about. I'll look into it.
It's just watch the pilot episode. It's really good. Like
Okay.
it's not one of those shows that like oh, you need to let it like warm up a little bit, right? Like from the beginning, it stays relatively consistent, right? Like sometimes they'll do shit that's like more experimental and sometimes it will work and sometimes it really doesn't. But like I don't know. There's never been an episode that I've wanted to skip, right? Like there's been some that are not great um but like all in all show's fantastic and it has some of my favorite episodes in all of television. Season 4 is really good. Season 4 is fucking phenomenal. Towards the end of season 1, there's a really good one. Uh, yeah, those are the three standout episodes that I can think of. Is the last two in season 4 and towards the end of season 1. Those are the ones that I remember as being really good. And like, yeah, I don't know. Go watch them. Go watch House. Everybody, go watch House right fucking now. Do you know? Only take breaks to listen to this show.
And
Um,
I guess my recommendation is watch How I Met Your Mother.
I also recommend that. From every episode I've seen of it, it's really good. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
it's a really solid show. I can't really pin down, I guess, like specific episodes, but like I just think that like the overall story is pretty cool. Plus, like, you got Barney Stinson. What a great character.
that's true. That's
He
true.
does create some of the best moments because he's like the most over the top character. So like you never really know what you're gonna get. Sometimes he always brings out something new.
I feel like I feel like every show eventually gets like one of those characters, but like but like I don't know like what the progression is. So I'm interested to see the progression of like how absurdist do they get, cuz like they there's a bit of like absurdism in the clips that I've seen, right? Like Barney has supernatural abilities. Like you could do a power scale video of Barney's like canonical superpowers.
Like at the very beginning of the show, it is a lot more tame. He's just very eccentric. But like as it goes on, it does kind of become like where it becomes like almost a superpower. What he's
No,
able to
he
do.
does have supernatural abilities. Like have you not seen? All right, there's a clip. I'm not going to spoil it, but he does have canon supernatural powers.
I I'm
So
I'm trying to figure out what clip you're talking about. But
I'll
I'm
tell you.
there's
I'll tell you
there's
after. I'll
plenty
tell
there's
you after.
plenty of
Yeah,
clips.
yeah. I'll tell you after. I'll tell you after. But I have a big red button question. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, for sure.
Um, you become the most attractive person ever. Like you do not change, right? Like your current looks do not change, but you become the most attractive person ever, but not to the gender you're attracted to. So for gay men, you are like the Brad Pitt of gay men. You know, you are sexiest man alive every year for gay men, but for women, you stay the same. Do
I
you
just
push
don't.
that button?
I see here. There's two ways of thinking about this, right? Like, do I become any less attractive to my preferred sex?
No, you stay the same.
Okay, so I feel like I think it's a not a bad thing to press the button. I feel like it's only upsides at that point, right?
I mean, yeah, but all right,
You could leverage your attractiveness if you wanted to.
you could, but think about all the like sincerely nice gay men who like come and hit you up and you just have to be like, "Oh, sorry, I'm not into that," right? Think about having to reject people on a constant basis. I think that would be exhausting.
I
Like,
think, to be 100% honest with you, I don't think I would care as much.
I don't
I
know.
think I think I'll just take the compliments. It'll feed my ego more and more. And I could also leverage it somehow, some way. I don't know how yet, but there is something we can do with this. You know what I mean, right?
I mean, yeah, but like at the end of the day, it doesn't like, you know, it doesn't feel good, right?
Like I could become like a model specifically for magazines targeted towards gay people. And I can get like a really successful career out of that.
Yeah, but then again, think about all the gay men you're going to have to turn down.
That's not a I don't think it's gonna be as bad as you're saying it is. It's gonna be fine.
Think about how many, all right, think about like the most attractive woman ever. And she's straight, right? Like think about like the most attractive straight woman. Just think about like how many men she's gonna have to reject on a constant basis, right?
Well,
That's got
okay,
to be draining.
like there's two schools of thought, right? There's two schools of thought. One where I think you get tired of like the praise. But then there's the other school of thought where you just never get tired of the praise. And
No,
it
I'm
just
a
keeps
narcissist. I would
coming
never get tired of the
forever
praise.
and ever and ever. Think about that, right? Like every time you go out in public, it's just a small little ego boost, And I feel like I could do with those.
I'm a narcissist. I would never get tired of the praise, but having to reject all the time. First of all, it's got to be just annoying, right? Like that can't be like, just like, sorry, I'm not gay. Oh, sorry, I'm not gay. Sorry, I'm not gay. You're saying that day in, day out, day in, day out. But then also,
But I feel
some
like it's much more acceptable to reject somebody because you don't share their sexual
like
preference
because you don't swing.
versus
Yeah, I know, but like
because other than just saying, "Oh, I just don't like you because of how you look." You know what I mean, right? Or I just don't, I wouldn't get with you type of thing, right? You see what I
yeah,
mean, right? I
but
feel
at
like
the
it's easier to let people down that way
yeah,
because they'll understand.
but they still like put themselves out there, and it feels bad no
Well,
matter
that's
what.
that's the risk of being put out there. You know what I mean? I feel like I can't feel bad that they chose to get put out there and got rejected for it.
I don't think that's true. I think you can still have some
I
sympathy for
feel
them,
like
have some
I
empathy.
yeah, I gotta have empathy, but like I'm not going to feel like bad about it necessarily, right? It's one of those things where they know what could happen. I'm not gonna feel bad. And I feel like as time goes on, I kind of have to not feel bad, if it happens super often, right?
Either you become desensitized to it, or
Maybe a
every
little bit of
single
empathy.
one weighs on you a little bit more, and then eventually it's like the straw that breaks the camel's back. You know,
I don't
right?
think that's gonna be an issue necessarily.
I don't know. Maybe we need to find someone who's like gay, or who's not gay but is really attractive to gay men, and ask them, hey, do you ever like feel bad for like rejecting like I'm sure there's a lot of like gay guys who do it really disrespectfully, and you wouldn't feel bad at all for shutting them down, but like just like a really nice sensitive gay man who like puts himself out there and he's like really polite, and you just have to be like, oh no, sorry, like, and like
I'm
he'll
telling
like
you,
take it well,
like
but like
there's a few downsides, but no matter what the downsides are, I feel like the upsides are just 100% better, 10,000% better. You know what I mean?
yeah, but think about all the fan mail you'd get, and just like the raunchy depraved shit.
Well,
Because
like it's not like I'm going to be leaking my address.
no, but if you're gonna be in a model, you're probably gonna have social media, and if you're gonna have social media, fucking gay men are gonna find it, and they're gonna fucking
Yeah, but like
be
a
horny
lot of
about
people
it.
that have big audiences, like their social medias are pretty much impossible to message people on because like if there's thousands of people messaging me, I don't gotta accept the messages. I just turn off the settings, to get those notifications. I'll check them when I check them.
But it'll be in your comments. It'll be people making videos about you, people doing like all sorts of people posting about you, right? It's not just that,
I don't know. I feel like I can have that separation. I feel like online. In person, it's a little different. Obviously, in person, that's a different issue.
If you are the most attractive person to all gay men, you are going to be at least moderately famous. Like, especially if you try leveraging it, you are still going to be like really, like you're still going for it, right? Like you're people are going to notice you, right? If you're like posting photos of yourself, which you do, you know, people are gonna see you, and they're gonna follow you, and they're gonna be like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I'm not doing it. I don't think I could do it.
I think I could do that. I don't mind.
I love the praise though. It would be hard to turn it down, but I don't know if the upsides would be worth it.
Imagine if you and me are walking down the street and like everybody's praising me. So many people are praising me. You know what I mean?
I would want to do if you did it. I would want to do it because I don't want you to fucking get a big head. I don't want you to get more praise than me.
So now interesting. So we're gonna be equally the most attractive, like
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't want you to get a uniquely big head. I
I
don't,
don't know. It's a little petty just to do it because I did it type of thing. You know what I mean?
I'm just making sure that you're not the only one doing it because then you'll get a big head about it, and I don't want you to because you get a little bit smug when you know, you're a sore
Me,
winner.
I get
You are a
smug.
sore winner.
I'm wait,
Yes,
wait. I'm a sore
you
winner.
are a sore winner.
I don't know what you could be talking about. If you don't have an example, then I think you should remove your
You are
accusation.
a sore winner.
It
Uh,
sounds like you don't got an accusation. An example, I mean.
every time you've ever won anything ever, you are a sore winner. You're so
Um,
smug about it.
I don't think that's true.
No, you are. You are. If you won that speedrun world record for that game, that you've been playing recently, fucking you would never let me fucking hear the end of it. You would be so smug about it. You'd be like, "Yeah, you
I
should try
probably
it, but
have the
you'll
record on
never."
Xbox, but like I who knows who's competing on Xbox? Am I right?
You would you'd be like, yeah, you should try it. You probably won't get as far as me. You probably won't get as fast as me, but no, you should try it. It's good. You would be so smug and condescending if you were if you were that alone. So I would have to do it just to equal the playing field because the natural order of things is that I'm better than you. That's how it goes. That's how it should be. If we did
Uh,
that, it would upset the balance and the whole world would be thrown out of whack. And we can't be having that. That would be bad for the
I'm
environment.
I still am getting hung up on the sore winner thing because I don't know what you're talking
You
about.
are a sore winner. Every time things go your way, or if there's like a competition, or like if you're right about something, you are a sore ass winner.
How many times have we competed where you this is even a thing?
Not often because I usually win, but whenever you win, you are a fucking douchebag about it. And I know I'm also a douchebag about it, but that's how I like it. So I don't want you to fucking I don't want you to have
Oh,
an
interesting. So
advantage.
you're saying I'm the you're saying that we're the same in that way. Curious
Yeah, I
why
can admit it and you can't. I'm a sore winner and a sore
I just
loser.
I just want to I just wanted a specific example because I'm recalling back to all the times that I've ever won something and I've
Well,
been very
thankfully I never
graceful.
let you win. I almost never let you win something.
We don't really play a lot of games where we're pitted against each other. You know what I mean?
If it's something that I care about, I never let you be better at it than me, just to make sure that you don't act all smug about it.
Well,
Just to
you
make sure that I'll find an example at some point, and I will think back to this conversation. And I will point it out to you. But you are
yeah,
absolutely a sore winner.
I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't ring a bell. No example. No proof. That's what I see here.
Well, I'm laying the accusation out now to my hypothesis. All right, we'll frame this as research, right? My hypothesis is that you are a sore winner, and I will find evidence to prove it.
Well, I
That
would
is
need a
my.
pattern, as well. You can't just show one instance. That could be like an outlier.
I'll find a pattern. Don't you fucking worry. It'll happen, and you will be an absolute fucking shithead about it. You're a worse winner than you are a loser.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! A worse winner than I am a loser. What are you
Yes,
talking about?
you're
What's
not.
worse about winning? Am I right?
You're not that much of a sore loser, but you are an absolute fucking douchebag whenever you win. Whenever you win, you are the smuggest motherfucker in the world.
You're saying a lot of things for somebody without an example.
The example is I'll find it here in a minute. I'll find a more specific example, but I'm speaking to a pattern that I've noticed over the last 10 years, almost 11. You
Crazy
fuck.
how it's been 10 years but zero examples. That's all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say. Hey, that's what I've noticed. Zero examples, 10 years. Crazy. Wild, in fact.
I'll find one. As soon as we stop recording, I'll fucking find one. But that's always how it goes. Whenever I try and find a specific example when I'm on the fucking podcast, I can never fucking find one. But as soon as I'm stopped recording, I'll find one. That's just how it goes. But
Uh-huh.
anywho, uh, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. So next week, it's not looking like we're gonna have an episode. Like, we might record during finals week. So we might have one next week, but the week after, it's not looking good. Since you'll be in Costa Rica, I'll be in Florida. I don't know if it's gonna happen. We'll take it day by day. But, in case we don't see you, in case we can't get one out, have a happy holiday. Um, you know, enjoy your whatever holiday you celebrate, Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Three Kings Day, whatever the fuck you want to celebrate, Um, but yeah, in case we don't talk to you, enjoy. Hope you have a great time. Spend time with your family. And we'll be back with you probably New Year's Eve, maybe, probably, maybe, perhaps.
Maybe. Probably
Yeah,
maybe.
because that's a Tuesday. So yeah, we'll see you when we see you. But in case we skip a week, um, for Christmas or for finals or whatever, you know, hope you have a great time with your family and all that. If you want to, get a cool shout out about supporting us over on Patreon, head on over, join our $3 tier. You get mentioned in the description. You get a cool verbal shout out at the end of every episode. But if you want an even cooler shout out and an even cooler mention in the description and access to all of our episodes early and ad free and all of our movie commentaries, join our $5 tier. It's really cool. We love it. The influential and successful tier. You officially become influential and successful. What's not to love? You get to listen to the incredibly influential interviews episode a few days early, because that's not coming out till Friday morning. You don't want to do that. You get access to, we watched Transformers 2 recently.
Probably can skip that one, guys.
No, that was a great commentary.
Y'all could probably skip the movie though. You listen to the commentary. Don't even put on the movie.
No,
Just
you gotta watch the movie.
commentary.
You gotta suffer through it with us. You
Or
can
you
also
choose
listen to
any of the other movie commentaries.
or any of the other movie commentaries as well. That's true. But yeah, we do that over on Patreon. If you want, you know, with the $3 tier, you only get access to part one, so up to the ad break. That's only like 36 minutes this episode. You could have been listening to the whole 100 plus or almost 100 minutes, early without ads. It would have been awesome. So go join the real Patreon. Join the $5 tier. It's great. There's even a week-long free trial. So if you do it and you don't like it, you haven't lost anything. But if you want to do that, go over there, patreon.com/IIHS podcast. Link is down in the description of the episode. If you want to follow us on social media, we are at IIHS podcast on Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, and YouTube. We try and get these episodes out on YouTube the same day, preferably within a few hours, but sometimes it doesn't always work. But we try. We give the old college try, and by we, I mean I. I'm the one doing it. It's me. It's all me. It's always been me. You're welcome.
Also am here sometimes.
Yeah, but when have you ever logged into the YouTube account?
You know what? Let's leave that for next time.
Okay. All right. Anywho, yeah. Social media, great place to go for general updates. If you want to give us any topic suggestions, any Q&A, best place to go. But yeah. Anywho, my name is Kael. I've been incredibly influential.
And I've been Danny, and I've been highly successful.
Good luck on your finals, everybody. We'll talk to you guys next week, and then we'll see where we go from there. Enjoy.